Okay, so I think the big issues are how do you feel, how do you use your body, right? So that you feel safe and comfortable and the patient feels safe and comfortable. Those are the two things. If the patient doesn't feel safe, number one, they're not going to relax and they're not going to let you evaluate. And this is really for any kind of a physical exam piece. So if they don't feel safe, even if they are safe, if they don't feel safe, they're going to tighten up. They won't cooperate. And then you could get hurt. And if you're not safe, you could strain yourself as well. So those are the two pieces. So you want to learn, think about your body and think about leverage, right? Doesn't matter how big you are. Actually, sometimes really big people have a hard time doing things because it's harder for them to leverage. But think about the size of your body and the space that you occupy, and then think about how you leverage it, how you create fulcrums so you don't have to use so much force, okay? So Jason, yay, Jason. Jason's gonna come up here and he's gonna be my victim, okay? So here, let's listen. Now I'll tell you something, you know Dr. DeFeo? Okay, so Dr. DeFeo was my lab partner all through medical school. Go ahead and sit down. And my stepsons are probably about as big as Jason. So there we go. I had practice. So the first piece is, let's just talk about physical exam, because you can hurt yourself doing a physical exam, right? So if you, I think sacrum's easy because it's seated. Standing seated flexion test is easy. I think when you're trying to evaluate hips, legs are big, that's where you can get into an issue, right? So let me have you lay down with the head up there on your back, right? Okay, so gravity is your friend, not your enemy, if you are smarter than it is. Always remember that. So if we wanted to look at Jason's hamstrings, right? What I'm going to do, you okay, John? You just let me know if I'm not doing what I should. Put the table as low as yourself. Figure out where your, what do I mean by that? Put the table as low as yourself. Where's your center of gravity? Center of gravity is in your pelvis. It's not up here. So this is your most stable place. So always put the table in a place that's going to let you use your center of gravity optimally, because this is where you're going to leverage from. So in this position, if I want to get Jason's leg into a position so I can evaluate it, and this is where I'm going to take off my coat, see? That's why I couldn't put my microphone on there. The table is lower than my center of gravity. I'm going to come like this, bend my knees. I use my center of gravity. I didn't use my arms, okay? Came like this, bent down, got his leg. See, I'm pushing from my pelvis. I'm just rocking, right? Then I'm gonna turn, and I know you've got my back, so I'll show you this from the front. Come under, right? I'm still using my center of gravity, so I'll show you from this side. Okay, so here I am, come down, get his ankle. Here's my leverage. Here's this is my leverage. His fulcrum, the fulcrum's gonna be in his hip and in his knee. I'm gonna get on his ankle. I'm gonna take it up. Are you doing it? No. Okay, look, I can check them. I can check them. I'm twisting. See how I'm twisting? Like that? I should have worn different pants. It made me look thinner. Okay, so now watch, I'm gonna show you something. Watch what happens if I put the table up higher. Sometimes you think putting the table up higher is going to be better. You have to find the comfortable place for you. If I'm here, okay, now see how much higher it is? I got to come way down here to leverage. It's harder. I can't rock it. You know what I mean? I can't get that momentum. I don't know, does that feel different to you?
I actually have to help.
Yeah, because I don't have any momentum. So figure out what your momentum is. How do you get your momentum, and then you use it. So I'm going to put this down. Okay. So let's say we wanted to do his hamstrings. I'm going to do it on this side, John. So you've seen how I've picked his leg up. Okay, now I'm up. I would stretch it. Okay, it's actually not too bad. You're pretty flexible. Huh? Yeah. So now I've got to do this. I'm going to come up like this. And I'm going to use my shoulder. And in fact, I'm going to take off my shoes so Mary doesn't yell at me for breaking the table. I'm going to use my leg, and I'm going to use this. Go ahead and bend your knee and relax. Go ahead and bend your knee and relax. Go ahead and bend your knee and relax. All I'm doing is standing up. Take it back down. It's okay. Keep it. Bring it down. Okay? Now, if I had to do counter strain and I had to hold him in position, I would just hold him like that. Really easy, right? Because I'm sitting in a position, or I've put myself in a position where, how can I say it? Where I'm balanced, right? My weight is balanced. I'm coming from here, not from here. I'm coming from here. This is where all your power is. All your power is in your legs and your pelvis. Your power is not in your arms. It's not, right? And I'm thinking about always keeping my structure aligned so I can use that momentum from my legs and my pelvis. Does that make sense?
Someone also mentioned with the resistance is it for me to engage, not the full force.
That's right, and that's a good point, Jason. And if I've got him locked out at a barrier, then I only need him to contract his muscle enough to engage that barrier. He doesn't have to do it full force. So you can give the person feedback, like push against me, and you say not so much, not so much, but they don't have to push full force. They shouldn't push full force, right? Right. If you had to do something like the psoas, where it's a big muscle, right? A lot of times, if you turn over for me, right? It's very flexible. So, you can come like this, and again, I'm going to come under his knee and lift. You can do two things if you wanted to do the psoas. You can lift and put your knee under it, right? And I'll do it on the other side just so you can see. You can do like this, and again, put your knee under it, and then you're just going to slide your knee up. So you're using your knee. Or a much easier way to do it, if the person's psoas is flexible enough, is if you roll on your back. And I always stand here, so if he falls off, I can catch him. You laugh. But you can take the leg off the table, right? That's the other way to do it. Right? You guys know that. Now look, something else is if a patient's a lot bigger than you are, they might not feel safe. But if you keep a contact on them, that's going to make them feel safe. And you laugh when I say I'm standing here to catch him, but actually the fact that I'm standing here is going to make him feel safer because there's feedback, there's proprioceptive feedback coming to him all the time. Don't you feel safer?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you. No, why don't you guys do that? Why don't you guys set up the table and see if you can figure out where the table should be so you can use your center of gravity, right? And it doesn't matter the size of the person you're working with. It should feel like a feather. Because if you can figure out where your center of gravity is, how many people do martial arts? Nobody. Oh, okay, a couple. How many people know what Aikido is? So Aikido is right when you use the other person's, the leverage, the momentum of the other individual to augment what you're trying to do. That's what you're doing. That's really what you're doing. So figure out where you need to put that table, figure out where your center of gravity is, and let's see you just move that person's leg. See if you can move their pelvis. Okay? Let's do that. Ready? So now you all have a sense of where your pelvis is. Okay. So, how do we make the patient feel comfortable with what we're doing? I'm trying to think. Okay, so what Jason was saying is that when people do FPR on the rib for him, a lot of times he feels like they're not giving him enough support that he feels comfortable that he can relax. So this would be a thing for FPR. It would be any of your anterior ribs. It could be anything like that where you've got to get them in a position where they're relaxed. So let me have you sit up and face that way. Okay, so I think there are two tricks. The first is I'm going to have you scoot over a little bit so you're not near the crack. And the reason for that is because I'm going to use my leg. Yeah, and if you want to stand there, John, that's probably the best place. Great. Okay, so use your leg. Okay, so watch out. Okay, so if I wanted to do, let's see, just lean back, slouch. Nope, slouch, slouch. Let's say I want to, just give me you. Let me get this foot back. There, there we go. Can you get my back foot? Nope. You've got it, oh, but you don't. So hang on one second, I'm gonna show you, how do you feel?
I'm good.
Okay, now suppose I had to go lower.
I feel like I'm beginning to want to help.
You're beginning like you wanna help? Come up. Slouch. How's that?
Better.
Better. Okay, come back up. I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing. Can you spin around? You know what? Just wait one sec. Don't sit down yet. There. Now sit. All right. So I want you to see my back leg. Yeah, you can just put it there. Just back it off a little bit. No, you were okay, Sammy. Thanks. All right. So sit forward a little bit. So don't have his butt right at the edge. A little bit forward. Good. I'm going to put my feet up here. So he's going to put his elbow on that. I'm coming like this, actually. Wait a minute. So I want them to see what I'm doing with my feet. All right? All right. Lean back against me. No. Slouch. Okay. Slouch. Slouch. How do you feel?
Good.
See what I'm doing? Ta-da! I'm not using any force. It's all right here. Lean against me. See? I got a triangle. Can you see it? It's a triangle. It's the most stable shape. Right? So why is it the most stable shape? Because the forces are aligned and balanced, and the force is actually going into the ground. It's not coming into me. I'm like this, but all the force is actually in my foot and actually on his ischial tuberosity, not here. Does that make sense? That's just physics. That's physics. You want to try it? Get somebody big. Try it. Try it. Okay. So, thoracic HVLA. Let me have you lay down with your head up there. And I know the first years haven't done this yet, but so first thing is, classically what you would do is cross the arms for your fulcrum. Don't do that. Okay, I'm going to have you scoot a little bit that way. There we go. No, you can stay straight. This arm, keep it straight. So he's basically got this arm laying by the side of his body. okay? This is the arm you're gonna use as your fulcrum to set up. I'm gonna have him bend his knees. Bend your knees because that will relax the lumbar spine and that will make the whole thing better. Bring this across. Now, okay, is it okay if I force on this elbow? Okay. Yeah, if you've got one. Okay. I'm gonna have you just put that like that. Or you can actually put it on your tummy if you want. I just don't wanna knock it. Thanks. All right, so, see, this is where I'm afraid of you for your microphones. All right, I'm gonna roll you this way. See, I've got them on my tummy, and I'm gonna pick up your head. I'm gonna come down, and I'm gonna find that spot, which I think was right there, and we're gonna roll you up. Whoops. There. Okay, spin around that way so I can show them what I did. All right, you okay?
I'm good.
All right, so you want them, you don't want them in the center of the table, so move that way a little bit. So this arm can go here, okay? Let's say my contact is on that side, right? So I'm bringing this across. I don't actually even know if I need that, okay? You're gonna take your thenar eminence, you're gonna put it on the spot, you're gonna take the head and you're gonna flex it to the area, right? All the second years are with me? So watch what happens. Sam, I think you need to go there so you can see where I put the elbow. So I'm reaching over, so I've rolled him, right? He's not in the center, so when I roll him, he's not gonna feel like he falls off. I'm gonna use my belly, I'm gonna take his head and I'm gonna bend it, okay? Now look, see I'm still low, I come around. You okay?
Good.
Got him. Right? Roll him. Okay? Bring him over. I'm going to do it again. See, look how low he is, right? Remember how they always tell you up here in the epigastrum? Do it low. Flex. You all right? I can bring him all the way out here. And he's still okay because he's on me. And then bring him around and thrust. Huh? What? What'd you say? So what? So what? You know what? If you've got a wall behind you, you laugh. You laugh. But I'll tell you the other way to do this, if you really, don't want to look like that, like I just looked, is come under, let's see. This, you've never learned this, but you're going to come under and get on the angle of the rib you want to treat, or on the vertebrae, the transverse process, whichever it is. You're going to anteriorly contact the anterior part of that rib. So you're going to use the rib to do this. Take that arm, put it straight out. To this, not this arm, that arm, straight out to the side. Okay. Put it in a big circle slowly. Bigger. Oh, good. Now go in the other direction. And there you go. And stop. Come back. Okay? So what you can do is you can do it articulatory. You hold the rib and they move the other arm. That moves all the muscles that are attached to the vertebrae until you feel that vertebrae shift. It's an articulatory technique. So that's another way of getting it. If you wanted to do an articulatory technique, you couldn't get a thrust in. Okay? Yeah? Yeah. Try the thorax setup though, because most of the time you can get it. Just get the table low enough, flex everything around, bring them off the table, and then roll them back on. So let's say, I don't know, it's somebody in here. So you'd find the transverse process and the angle of the rib posteriorly, then find the rib anteriorly, okay? And you hold it. Take the arm and extend it out, and then bring the arm in a circle slowly. Okay, and what will happen is the ipsilateral rib moves, then the vertebrae moves, then I feel this rib move. Now go in the other direction.
So do you have
And
to
that
change
rib?
direction after you feel it move?
It's
Or
whatever.
You're just doing it to feel any movement?
Yeah, and there's the rib.
So on our back, you're on the rib or the transverse process?
Either one.
You can be on either one.
Oh, okay.
So you can either hold the rib at the angle, or you can hold the transverse process. But what you want to feel is the motion go through the ipsilateral rib, then it moves, then that vertebrae moves, then the next rib moves. So you get the whole sequence.
I see. And why did you only use one arm?
Because he's too big for me to use two
Oh,
arms.
because two.
Iliacus counter strain.
I'll lay down.
Lie down. Iliacus counter strain. Okay, so look. Try to separate in your mind getting him into position and being in the position, right? So let's say we had a iliacus point on this side, right? I'm gonna lean it against my body. Lean it against my body. Okay, and so then I'd get on my point. Let's say it's down here. Bring him back up. You okay?
I'm good.
All right, come back. Another way to do it is to say, let's bring your knees up, okay? Cross your ankles. Now look, this actually, what I'm doing right now is taking more energy on my part than the other one did. Bring your knee under and flex. That takes a lot of energy. Spread those apart. This is like way harder than what I just did. I have to tell you. Let's bring this down again. So let's look at it. So, butt behind the lever. Take it up. Hold it with your body. Take it up. Okay, he can help at that point if you need to. Okay, let's do this. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to. There's a difference between getting him into position and treating the point, being in the position. So you don't need to be monitoring the point when you're setting him up. You know where the point is, right? So you get in there and, oh, I didn't do that very well, did I? And then you can monitor it, okay? So you don't need to stay on the point. You don't need to keep your finger on the point while you're setting him up. You know where it is. You found it. It's not going to go away. As long as you get back on the point, because you're going to want to say, does this still hurt? And you want to make sure you're in the right place. As long as you get your finger back on the point before you get him into perfect position. That's all, okay? In fact, you could even set it up and then say, bring this leg up for me. Thank you. You can even do that. And then take it down, find the point, and then bring them back up. You could even do that. As long as you can get on the point and confirm you're in the same place. The point's not going to move. So once you find it, you found it. Okay? It's easy. But it all gets back to that same idea of triangle. See my legs. Triangle. Getting behind and moving it. Okay? Any other questions? No? All right, have a good day. See you later.